All right, Fatboy FadeAway, little special edition again here. Me and Tyler, we had Terrell join us on, what was that, Tuesday or Wednesday night? No, that was actually Monday night to talk a little bit of do 2020 redraft. Me and you, like we said on the show then, we love doing those. Special kind of occasion for us doing two in a week here. But hey, we got the time to do it. We love looking back at this stuff. You said 2020. I said 2011, and obviously there's some great players. Actually, there's a lot of depth in this draft when you look at it compared to most drafts we've done in the past. Like there's like legitimately probably 30 plus like NBA players in this draft. Like there's not like, or that's how I look at it. But there's some heavy hitters as well. And so I'm curious where you rank them when we do this redraft. All right, so 2011 NBA redraft, what were you looking at when you first kind of saw this list here?
I mean, Kawhi Leonard pops off the list, and the trade, like, what does that look like if the Indiana Pacers don't make that trade? Like,
do you remember who they traded for?
Yes, I do. Well, who the hell was it? It was George Hill.
And they also got who's the white guy that
Davis Bertans.
Yeah, so they
got Davis Bertans as well. No, but that's the one that came out to me. I was like, what a crazy trade by the Pacers. And normally smart franchise makes the right moves most of the time, even though they did mess up this year by probably trading for the Clippers center instead of taking the 6th overall pick. But that's for another time.
Oh,
that's the one that, I mean, Kawhi, I think, is pretty clearly the best player of this draft. And the fact he got traded on his draft day is just interesting.
Do you remember him at San Diego State?
Oh, yeah. Arizona played them in the NCAA tournament. He was a pain in the ass. He was good.
I remember liking it.
They always said it's shooting and shooting and shooting. It always felt like the ball was going to go in when he let it go.
You're like, yeah, he just doesn't shoot it from deep. He shoots it from the free throw line. He's not an
idiot. He took smart shots.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, there's some interesting trades. We'll get into that here. Some leading even up to the draft, some on draft night, like we said as well. That one obviously rings the biggest ramifications from the 2011 draft. But so, we did it with Terrell. We did top 5. We'll do top 14 here. We each get 7 picks. We'll kind of go from there in terms of where we would redraft a lot of these guys. But like you said, a lot of depth, with the draft here. I'm 30 deep. Might not be like we're all starting, but like I was like, man, at least they got a few years out of you with these guys. Like I don't know, it felt deeper than a lot of drafts. Did you see that or no?
It didn't have the everything was late. The early part of the draft outside of Kyrie left a lot to be desired. So it was it didn't pan out how you expected if you were to put the draft in the order that we're going to put it in. It's way off. So I think that throws like a little negative spin on this draft, like as far as how good it was, because there is a lot of players who played 7-8 years in the NBA that maybe they weren't your favorite player or anybody's favorite player, but they had a career.
And the Clippers in this draft end up getting the 4th pick too. They have not the Clippers, the Cavs had the 1st pick, and they get the Clippers 4th round pick, I believe, for a Baron Davis trade.
It was a Baron Davis trade.
So they end up with the 1st round pick there, so which Cleveland has the 1st and the 4th pick overall in this draft. I mean, they end up taking Tristan Thompson and Kyrie Irving. We can debate where Tristan would go, but obviously worked out for them. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to take the 1st pick this year just to make it easy on myself because you had the other one first. I'm going to take Kawhi first, obviously. I did think about Kyrie, though. I did. I'm not saying I did. I thought about it. His dominance versus the Warriors at times during those championship years were pretty good. That's pretty good. But you look at the rest of his career, they both missed a lot of time for some weird things. Kawhi has obviously been less available because when you look at it, you're like, oh, well, he would probably have the most points. Like, no, he's got the 5th most points out of anybody in this draft class. And we think he's the best player, but like that's part of a redraft too. But I think we would all both take his highs are enough to where a Klay, a Jimmy, a Kyrie, we're just taking over them. MVP of a finals with a great team too, and he felt like he took the next step there. Then wins it with Toronto. Obviously, one of the best players, Hall of Famer easily, no doubt about it. So, but a weird career nonetheless.
I mean, he has a Defensive Player of the Year award. when he plays, he's unbelievable. Like you said, he lacks a lot of play, a lot of games and seasons. It does over 60 games. It's hard to find. You got to search pretty hard.
So
you look at his career stats based on games. If you said career totals and compared them to all these players, you could come up with a scrub 18 players in every stat, field goal percentage in his career and a bad player and every total points. You could 15,000.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't look right, but you put the whole thing together. That Toronto Raptors single year, he was so good. He was unbelievable. Yeah, I think he was the best player in the NBA. I think he surpassed LeBron.
How's he dropped?
He couldn't shoot supposedly. I don't know. It doesn't make
sense.
But
Tristan Thompson could. But Tristan Thompson could.
He's 7 feet tall. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
But he's got small. It's just odd the way the NBA drafted back then. Yeah, we see it, right?
Oh yeah.
We see it all the time with we're like, what? That doesn't make any sense in terms of what we're doing. Why in the world are we drafting this guy? And so he ends up 15 in a draft where you have, Biyombo and all these guys go ahead of him. So it's just crazy to think about. So I take him number 1. Obviously, that's where he should land. Imagine him with the Cavs, him and LeBron. That would have been a tough combo.
Great combo.
Kyrie was good for him though. All right, so the second pick went to the Timberwolves, and Utah had 3 in this draft. Derrick Williams from your Arizona goes 2, and Enes Freedom, he is Kanter at the time, from Kentucky, freshman. He went 3rd. Obviously, I'm assuming you don't have one of them in those spots. So what's the next 2 you're taking?
I do. Fun fact about Enes Kanter, I don't think he played at Kentucky. He went there.
No, he did it.
He got to play because he was suspended all year. Derrick Williams, I thought was going to be a great NBA player. Completely whiffed on him. I obviously have.
He had a great tournament game, right?
Oh, he was unbelievable in the tournament. In that game against Duke, he was great. He just put on a show. I think he shot 57% from 3 in college, and then he just couldn't make a 3-pointer in the NBA.
Yeah,
but I don't. Such as college to the NBA, the difference. I mean, so for the second pick, oh man, I could go with all 3, either of the 3, and make an argument. I just got to go on. Klay Thompson's my favorite. I'm gonna go Kyrie Irving, 8-time All-Star. He had never won a championship as the number 1 guy. LeBron didn't carry because Kyrie was right there with him as his sidekick. But I just got to go Kyrie. The natural ability to handle a basketball like that and get any shot right-handed, left-handed. He was a little undersized. He lacked a little defense, but there was just no one staying in front of him in his prime years. I mean, his injury history leaves a lot to be desired. Some of the off-the-court stuff has aged better than how it was perceived when he first said it. Mm-hmm. Still, you expect better from the first overall pick. But his natural basketball ability, I'll take Kyrie, and it kills me to say that.
All right, so you take Kyrie at 2. I think that's probably the play. I had a different guy at number 2, but I kind of just we'll see where you go with 3, and then I'll kind of hit both targets here.
And then for 3, I'm going Klay. I mean, I know Jimmy took 2 teams to the NBA Finals. You look at those Eastern Conference. I'm not going to talk too bad about Jimmy because Jimmy was good when he played, or not when he played because he played a lot. But Klay's the most, in my opinion, my favorite player I've ever watched. He was the most underappreciated player in the NBA while he was doing his thing. Yes, he got his love because he was on the Warriors. But nobody, if you say Klay could help be a number 1 and win a championship, people will laugh at you. And I just think he could have if he was given the right roster. Like that, the games he played in the playoffs when they had Livingston, West, and that whole supporting cast when Curry was hurt, they were playing Houston, I think. Klay was unbelievable. When he played in the playoffs without Steph Curry, they were 9-3. He averaged 28 a game. I just think he's really disrespected as an NBA player. I do.
I just wonder.
And his defense. I didn't even add his defense. A 6'7" shooting guard who's willing defender.
So
I don't know.
So I had Jimmy 2.
I had Klay at 3, and then
you froze on me, but I got. Hopefully you come back. I had Jimmy number 2 in this selection. Maybe that's crazy to think about. With obviously, like you said, Thompson Thompson number 3. You mentioned some good cases there. 9-3 with the Warriors when Curry was out of a playoff game. To me, at the end of the day, though, I'm still going to go with Butler number 2. He did have some drama that you could give me with other teams that did always work out well. But you can say Kyrie had some drama. Klay obviously had some drama at the end. But Tyler said, Klay is number 1 guy gets disrespected, which I understand. But at the same time, is Jimmy Butler getting enough love over those guys, when it comes to that thing? So, that's where I'm at with it, Tyler, is Jimmy Butler to me is number 2 over Klay Thompson. And I love Klay Thompson, but Klay couldn't carry a team like Jimmy did back in his prime. It just wasn't going to happen. And I feel like where you use the argument of, I feel like Klay was drafted into a good spot. He literally is playing with the best shooter ever. And so, yeah, they both benefit from each other. There's no doubt about it. But, him playing by himself with just, Brandon Knight or something like that, that's not going to make him, win a championship. And, I don't know. I just think his game wasn't like Jimmy, where Jimmy could get to the foul line more consistently. He could drive to the hoop a little bit. Yeah, he couldn't shoot like Klay, but he was just as clutch, in many scenarios. And, getting 2 teams in the championship, to me, does prove a little bit of something. So, I don't know. I had Jimmy number 2, and that's over Kyrie too. So, I get him right there with that. I hear what you're saying, but do you sometimes think that your bias gets in the way a little bit?
Jimmy. Of Jimmy? I like Jimmy. I think people, like you just said, you don't think Klay could carry a team to a championship. I think he was that good offensively of a shooter. There was no better shooter outside of Curry. He shot 40% from 3 constantly. Yes, he had his limitations dribbling the basketball at times. And then he'd pick up full court. He'd pick up Harden. He'd pick up Kyrie. Yeah, Kyrie would get his own, just because I mentioned before, Kyrie is a special player. But he would guard him for 90 feet. He did the small things. Jimmy did the same thing. I just discount the Eastern Conference as opposed to winning 4 championships. I'm going to go with the 4 championships as the second best player, in my opinion. Some people might have Draymond over getting the 2 championships in the weak East.
Man, he still beat teams that were better than him along the way, which does make a big difference, with that roster too. And I just think I just would take him number 2 overall in this draft. There's some dog mentality I really like about him. Klay has that too, but I think there's some grittiness though that Klay doesn't have to his game, that if you're the main guy you need. And we're like Ray Allen, he wasn't going to ever do anything in Seattle. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I see Klay kind of in that same mold. Ray Allen had to join, Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett to really get to another level. So that maybe you have your bias there. I have my biases too in some areas. Obviously, I think Reggie Miller is even better than Klay Thompson. We've debated that many times too, but that's where I see Jimmy ahead of Klay. So kill me, Warriors fans. Kill me. I might do Moss for that pick right there with it. So those were the big 4 in the draft, right?
Yeah, I think it's a big drop off after those 4.
Still, we had some all-star seasons though, and we'll get.
Yeah, we got some big guys who are underappreciated probably in the history of the game. Or not history, not that they're that important. But.
And probably one biggest surprise guy out of maybe any draft for being such a little guy. So curious where we take him as well. Where do you got number 5 and or I'll go number 5. I'll take Vucevic at 5. So I guess the center as well. Yeah, out of USC, good career. Actually he killed the Warriors actually a lot early in his career.
He was like a poor man's Kevin Love when he first came.
A little big, has a good offensive game, lacks some defense, but obviously can still be a big dude at times and rebound and stuff. So I take Vucevic at 5. Where did he go? He went to, at the time,
Magic?
Magic. Yes, the Magic took him over there at I forget where they take him at. They took him at number 16. So he had Leonard at 15. Vucevic at USC at 16. So yeah, good draft there with it. Who else you got?
Then
number,
you go
6.
down to Southern California, you start getting some all-stars and Kawhi and dudes. I went Kemba. I mean, I don't think they're winning anything with Kemba, but just 4 all-stars. Like, you got some seasons of excitement.
You got Charlotte there. You got Charlotte.
Yeah, it's hard to, like, say he's going to win it, but these other guys, it's a rough go, like, as far as, like, real accomplishments. And then my 5th pick, I got Tobias Harris.
Or 7th pick.
Borderline all-star, or 7th pick. I got Tobias Harris. Borderline all-star a lot of years. He always, but it always felt like he had the tools to be better than he was. So I think that intrigue would still just.
He helped the Sixers a lot this year, beating the Celtics. I'll give him that.
He did.
He helped them a lot this year.
But he's had some terrible playoffs as well.
Kind of a weird career.
Yeah,
right? With Orlando. Like, good player.
Yeah, you
probably above average, right?
His size and shooting ability, that he'd be able to score a little better than he did. Like, or at least more in the clutch. It seemed like in the clutch it would just always fall short.
And if you look at it, though, like, if you really look at it, like, getting him 19 is not bad.
No, that's a good pick.
Like, that ends up, you're just like, oh, man, he's better than 19. Like, because when you redraft, you're taking him number 7 here. So it's kind of, that's what I mean by this being a deep draft. Like, you have Amon Shumpert here. You have, like, that was a late round pick. Like, Marshawn Brooks was even a decent player for a different. Jaquan Johnson was a good player for a little bit. Norris Cole was a good player for a little bit. Like, you actually got some guys that were drafted pretty well here in this draft, or it was just a loaded class.
Kenneth Faried.
Exactly, where you have Kenneth there with it. Kemba's an interesting one, too, because he had a great college.
Who, Kemba?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable college.
So Tobias over Kemba, though?
Put on that kid from Pitt, the big guy from Pitt. The Big East. What a shot.
Number 8. I'm going to go little man. The 60th pick of the draft. I'm going to go Mr. Isaiah Thomas. I'm going to take him with it. The man could score, Tyler. He could score the basketball for one of those unreal years, right, with the Celtics. Just kind of one of your – where it's like he's the little guy on a team, but he's still MVP. It doesn't happen very often in the NBA where you get somebody. That happens way more often in, like, baseball or football or something like that. Like, but the NBA, you don't usually get the 60th pick at one point being in the top 3 of MVP voting. That's not usually how these things work out. And he legitimately was unreal for the Celtics that year. And he was a good player for the Kings. We had, like, he was a good, solid player where he could score. You know what he did. And it was fun to watch. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like his highs were better than anybody else on this list. Like, I don't know, like, I just, again, maybe the Walker type of argument you made where it's like, yeah, he's not winning you the championship as the top guy, but, like, you give him like, he would have been ideal, like, as a 6-man in his prime, right?
I think looking back on it, I'd take him over Kemba, even without, just because of that one year on the Celtics where he took LeBron to Game 7, and, like, that team had no business getting that far or, like, being that good. Yeah, Jason Tatum was young, but he was falling apart in that series. He went a shot at the end of that series. But, yeah, so that's a good pick. Isaiah definitely deserved to be picked.
Out of Washington.
Higher than 60. Killed Arizona, the big Pac-10 tournament.
One of the greatest calls of all time because of Isaiah Thomas, right? Or am I thinking of somebody else? I'm thinking of Isaiah, right?
No,
Gus?
Yeah.
I know it was against your team, but a good team. But it was a good one. It was still a good call.
Was a good, when Brandon Roy and him were on the same team, it was like, holy shit. How'd they get so good?
Number 9, this was a tough one for me. I had a couple guys on the list here. I still kind of just kept going back to Valanciūnas. Like, I'm not a huge big guy now the way that modern NBA goes, but based on what I saw, and I always thought he was a good player. I mean, he wasn't, like, again, he could start on some good teams. Like, he was always a starter. He was productive. I liked how he understood how to play basketball with his size. Like, he knew what he did well. He went for those offensive rebounds. Good, but a better offensive player than you would think. You know what I mean? Like, he's better than Adams or something like that on offense. Like, I always felt like he was, he had more touch. He was a threat on Toronto in his younger days, he was a legit threat. Like they would dump it down to him even sometimes. He had that little baby hook.
And he kind of developed that top of the key 3 as well, late in the Toronto year, and then that fell off sort of. But yeah, when was he picked originally? 5th?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was a pretty good. He was taken 5th by Toronto. Obviously, you look back and you want Leonard and some other guys, but out of all these other teams, some of them that wasn't the worst pick in the draft. So.
Non-Vesely.
Who we'll get into. So I got Valanciūnas next with the 8th overall.
So I have 9 and 10. I feel like I can't take one of the top Morris twins unless I take both of them. So I'm going to skip out on them. I think I'm going to go. I mean, it's hard to say. The poor man's. Who's the guy I just picked?
Tobias.
The poor man's Tobias is Bogdanovic. Same thing. Big guy, good size, can shoot the ball. He just injuries really hurt him towards the end of his career. I thought in Indiana it was going to be a good fit, but he kind of just couldn't stay healthy. And then my next pick, I guess I'll go Kenneth Faried. He made it to Team USA. No one else available is going to be able to say they accomplished that. So I go Kenneth Faried. Great rebounder.
You had him. I had Faried at 15, so you took him a little higher than I would have took him at that point. How about who did you take before Faried again? Just so I mark it off here.
Bogdanovic.
Okay. So Reggie Jackson was next for me. Again, not maybe one of my favorite players of all time.
Great sunglasses.
But I don't know. Like, I'm not a big Amon Shumpert guy. Maybe that's just
no. Me. I mean, this is why I think this draft kind of falls flat because you get to the middle of the first round and you're like, I don't want these guys. I know they have 8 years,
but it was better than 2020. It felt like we looked at some of those guys.
No, you're right. I mean, for sure, it gets weak.
COVID killed the good players.
Killed scouting for sure. This draft is terribly scouted as well. Talk about. I mean, we're gonna do it a little later. Actually,
I got Reggie, and then I have Morris.
What one? Does it matter?
The good one. The good one.
Not
Marcus. I got Marcus Morris. That's what I'm taking there. I'm thinking Marcus Morris.
Smart guy.
Can I take Tristan Thompson? That was probably my in terms of we're getting low on the list. Who am I debating between?
Yeah.
Thompson he was a pain in the ass offensive rebounding. There's no doubt about that. Like the Warriors had massive issues with him on offensive glass, and he was good at what he did. He couldn't.
He had his weaknesses.
The Kardashians or whatever, and so he did have that.
Impregnated Armenian.
He was. My guess is the opposite sex got a hold of him quite a bit. That's probably why he wasn't able to. He probably center himself, right? Tyler center himself there. But I'm gonna take Morris. I just think he could do more on the basketball court than Thompson could. Thompson benefited from Kyrie on LeBron driving, and you know what I mean. So it's like Morris was still, to me, the better all-around player.
I guess I'll take Enes Kanter. I don't know.
I don't even great. I don't even have him on the top.
Great 16. Offensive rebounder. I think he led the NBA in offensive rebound percentage one year with Boston. Obviously, at his faults. Very slow. Couldn't guard anybody outside of probably the free throw line with any reliability. But one thing he would do is he brings some toughness. He wasn't afraid to mix it up, especially with LeBron. So I always respect that. So, I mean, I'll take him over Markieff Morris, who's no, that's not a right word. He's a bad individual who hurts people. And then Tristan Thompson, I don't, like you said, I don't know. No offensive real skill. I mean, he didn't know whether to shoot right-handed or left-handed throughout his career. He would switch it up.
So who would you take?
Sounds like a disaster.
Who would be the last pick for you?
I thought that was 7.
Oh,
I guess it would be Tristan Thompson, just offensive rebounding. Do something.
Oh yeah, because you have Bogdan and Thompson. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I had another Morris on here. The other guy that you didn't take is Alec Burks. Would have been the other guy. I thought he could score a little bit.
Good Warrior for a half a year.
But you had Shumpert in here for a little bit. It's Chris Singleton. You had some moments. Nolan Smith. I remember him a little bit more from college. Kyle Singler. Thank you for guarding Steph Curry. There's certain guys that I don't know. I guess Chandler Parsons even, we say what you want to say about him.
He got a nice contract.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seemed a little deeper than our usual
Dantas
draft.
Valanciūnas.
Yeah, and then wasn't undrafted Dragic maybe this trade or
No, Dragic is available.
So I mean, like you had like it just was a different it just was a different year in terms of like it just felt I don't know, maybe that's a result of the college player staying 2 years more. I don't know. I doubt it. Felt like in 2011. I mean, Kyrie left there, but I don't know. What do you think of Kyrie as the number 1 overall pick? Where do you think he? Like I didn't ask you to rank like the 75 number 1 picks in NBA history, but just kind of thinking like, all right, he was the number 1 pick of this draft, just like Edwards was a few years ago. Like, is he better than Edwards or like you know what I mean? Like where like is he? Where do you see like Kyrie? I gotta say he's better than Edwards at this point, right?
I think through their first 6 years, they're pretty like similar. They're both just unbelievable basketball players, but the winning just wasn't there. Edwards was healthier, he's bigger, which is a good sign of things to come. And Kyrie's career, while he was always effective, it just aged poorly with the injuries, the off the court issues where he was in trouble. And then he's small. He had the great run with Dallas, which was a definite career, but put him in the Hall of Fame for sure. I mean, even though they won the championship in Cleveland, but I think that like cemented it. He's an all-star every year. He's kids' favorite player just on his style.
What was the movie?
Him and Edward, that's a close one. I think Kyrie's probably
right now he's got a little ahead of him.
Yeah, he's ahead of him because he has 4 more all-star games, or maybe 3 more now at this point. But I don't know. It's close.
Like it's just funny to think like where he's at in number like.
But like Kyrie would be scarier to play against in a playoff series, like than Anthony. I'm as good as Anthony Edwards is. I saw what Kyrie did in those finals when they came back 3-1. He was unbelievable.
I still think he's the best small finisher I've ever seen.
Yeah, he was better. His English was.
He could go left or right. Like it was better than Curry's.
Floater,
yeah, he had it all. Like his step back game. Once he got that 3 going once in a while, you're like, oh, good God. I mean, basically,
his handle was the best.
Oh, his handle was ridiculous, and like he wore Klay out. Klay did a good job on him, but nobody's guarding him at that point. But at the same time, until LeBron showed up, it wasn't like he was dominating the wins and calling either with that team either. So,
exactly.
But he wasn't also like you better trade for.
He was playing with scrubs as well, and he was hurt a lot of it.
They're down.
They weren't winning anything with that roster and a young Kyrie for sure.
So he's been with Claw.
So would you have him over Edwards as first overall picks? Like if you were to guess, forecasting going forward.
Yeah, right now I would still have Irving. I just thought it was interesting because he is a great player. Just like that number 1 pick's a big spot. Like where do you?
He's also unorthodox to be that small and be the first overall pick. I mean, there's a couple guys, but
you don't usually get him. Like obviously Iverson, maybe obviously comes to mind.
Rose, but they're bigger than him. Well, not Iverson, but
we'll have to look at that. Where the top 20, like something like that, next like since 2000, where the number 1 picks kind of light up along the way.
I know Anthony Bennett is last place.
Bargnani right there behind him. Right?
Hey, Bargnani has one of the greatest pass highlights I've ever seen.
He does. He's a good video game player once in a while.
You untap that ass.
Shoot the 3 of them.
Unbelievable.
So that was to be one of the big storylines from this draft as well. Was that again like a lot of first teamers along the way? With this draft too. It is funny to me the Morris brothers go back to back. But then the Kings, as much as we hyped them up with the Halliburton pick at 11, they take Fredette at 10 right in front of Klay.
Bad pick. Alec Burke even. Like, Zimmer Fredette. That's, I don't know. He was really good in college. You got to give him credit, but it just.
And Biyombo, 7.
Mark Price.
7 Biyombo there, just not like.
The next Serge Ibaka.
Yeah, just not there at it. So. Yeah, any other storylines to check out with you at the draft here?
No, I just thought it was crazy. The Clippers being the Clippers. And was Donald Sterling still alive when this draft happened? Alive, but controlling the Clippers. Yeah,
remember that was when they played the Warriors in the playoffs.
That was the year, huh? Baron Davis getting traded for Mo Williams and a first-round pick that was completely unprotected because he thought the draft was pathetic. Like, that's what people thought of this draft going into it. He was like, I don't need to protect this pick.
Yeah, it's like,
And-
Mo Williams is stud. Yeah, we got that.
All-star. Yeah, you play with LeBron, you get a little better.
Man, so kind of an interesting draft. There along the way, Memphis, who they take? Nobody. They had a first round pick of this draft. Milwaukee, they end up with, like you said, Fredette when that trade there. Kemba, he gets traded. Vesely is it that trade? But some good, some good also picks along there. More good picks, I thought. Than the name that stood out to me was Shelvin Mack. Remember him from?
From Butler.
I had heard that name in a while, and only because we're a West Coast guy, I remember Honeycutt from UCLA. Oh, this guy with the long arms. Where's he going to be at? He came out too early, Mr. Honeycutt. He should have stayed. That was the name that kind of came to my mind a little bit. And then the Wisconsin guy, John Lauer. Remember him? The white guy there. And I remember E'Twaun Moore only because I think the Warriors played him in the playoffs when he was on the Pelicans, and he actually did. He didn't crush him, but he was still a solid player.
I mean, you got to remember Todd Diebler from Ohio State.
Oh yeah.
I thought the name that stood out to me, there was two of them, was Josh Shelby, who was like a top-ranked high school player, went to Kansas. He was one of the original, like, I'm going to go to Kansas. And he completely sucked and then fell in the draft. He had the off-court issues. And then Jeremy Tyler. Oh, the X-Men. Remember when the Warriors traded for Jeremy Tyler? He was 17 years old.
Oh, yeah. We thought it was going to be a huge deal.
Yeah, we're like, we got the big. We got Shaq. He's 17. He's going to be a monster.
My son really was watching him, and we really think we were. All we did was have to pay money to get him from the Hornets. That's all we did to get him. The Warriors took Charles Jenkins out of Hofstra in the second round of this. You got that one too. So, kind of a funny draft here. Looking back at it, I don't know, like a lot of good stuff though. A lot of good stuff there along the way. A lot of good teams. We'll do another one here shortly as well. I should do like a little NFL one too. That'd be kind of fun with Brian. Do a little NFL one version with Terrell. All right. Any final thoughts on this draft?
I mean, the top four is just a surprising top four at where they were picked. Like having Butler being 30, Klay 11, Kawhi 15, and then Kyrie 1, and having them being so not close together because I think Kawhi separates himself, but have an argument at 2. It's pretty fair for anyone to have. And at that level, it's a pretty good draft, especially in that top 4. And for them to go that late in the draft. Some GMs must have got their head chopped off.
I mean, if we look at our 1 through 8, right? All right, so Kyrie was the first pick.
No.
No, but overall in that draft.
Oh, okay.
We had him as you had him as 2, I had him as 3. So whatever, that's fine. But in terms of like where they were at, like Tobias Harris was out of the lottery. Isaiah Thomas, like you said, was the last pick. Vucic was out of there. Klay was out of the top 10. Kawhi was out of the top 10. Jimmy was the last pick in the first round. Yeah, as much as we said there were some solid NBA players, you messed up pretty bad with these top guys there. At
Jan Vesely.
Come on, like you messed up really bad with some of these picks. Like that's just kind of the way it is, right? Like you said, the height thing matters.
Yeah.
Or Valanciūnas, who I can't kill Toronto for, but the big, him and Tristan Thompson, right? That's why they got drafted 4 and 5. Because they were 7 feet tall. To me,
absolutely.
So
height always matters in the NBA.
We'll do one here next. A few. I kind of like 2006 for some reason. It's kind of on my mind a little
Ringing
bit.
a bell.
We could talk a little bit and see if we want to do one here. But yeah, let's get one on here. We'll do Fatboy FadeAway.
Sunday morning.
An episode Sunday. That will be episode 275. We'll get Terrell on there again. Brian. We'll see if we can get some realistic takes from Johnson along the way. But Brock. But should be sure to check out me and Tyler on Sunday. Tyler, enjoy your softball game tonight, my friend.
You as well.
Always fun doing the draft. We'll get one more.